For South Carolina's King Day at the Dome. Featured speakers included Senators Cory Booker and Bernie Sanders. And Fox Carolina's Margaret Burnquist is live in Columbia now with more on the day's events and those visitors who are potential Democratic candidates for president. Right, Margaret?
Potential candidates, but no announcements were made out here anyway, Diana. I did interview some ladies, though. They had come to support Senator Booker, to see him in person, and they said he sounded very presidential. During the 3-hour rally, much of it felt like politics a lot of the time, but it was a day to honor Martin Luther King Jr.
Is not free.
A march to the Capitol following a morning prayer service to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on this holiday. Choirs singing and speakers, including city leaders, church leaders, and spokesmen from the NAACP.
It was well represented. It wasn't just black, it wasn't just white, it wasn't old or young, it was really everybody.
The masses turned out to hear U.S. Senators Bernie Sanders from Vermont and Cory Booker of New Jersey.
What is important is not just to reflect and to remember and to reread the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. What is important is that we apply the ideals of Martin Luther King. We are gathered together in this cold right now because we're dissatisfied.
Senator Booker's message centered around taking action and standing up for issues like justice system reform, raising teacher pay, combating gun violence, and promoting unity.
We will be measured by our defiant love and our ability to pull people together and help them to recognize that the lines that divide us are nowhere near as strong as the ties that bind us.
Meanwhile, Senator Sanders spoke about racism.
It gives me no pleasure to tell you that we now have a president of the United States who is a racist.
And the need to fight economic, social, and environmental injustice. He called for raising the minimum wage, tuition-free colleges and universities, the enactment of an automatic voter registration, and health care for all as a right through a single-payer health care program.
Today we are here not just to remember Dr. King, not just to honor Dr. King. We are here to fill his revolutionary spirit, to have the courage to take on the economic and political establishment, and to create the kind of nation we know we can become. Thank you all very much.
So as you heard there, Senators Booker and Sanders did seem to be doing a certain amount of campaigning without officially throwing their hat in that presidential ring. But South Carolina is an important place to connect with voters. You've got to consider the Palmetto State holds the first in the South Democratic presidential primary. So we will see what happens with any of those big announcements. Reporting live in Columbia, Margaret Burnquist, Fox Carolina News.
Margaret, thanks so much. Well, before the King Day at the Dome march to the State House, it all started with prayer.